Scott, talk about the decision timeline here. When did you guys start having conversations, and how did that progress?
Well, Max and I have been staying in touch with each other, not consistently, but enough. And we've had discussions, and my biggest thing with Max was make sure you stay in touch with me in terms of your timeline on, when you're going to be done playing. And who knows? Timing is everything in our game, and I think that the timing was right. We communicated before his season was over this year when I heard he was retiring. We talked, and then we kind of got going on the opportunity. So, that's basically how it is. Obviously, Steven, probably the most out of everybody on this call that he and I go back quite a ways. He's got a solid history in Cedar Park, and quite frankly, it was a quite easy decision to consider Max as the assistant coach.
In the past, the team's only had one assistant coach. This is the first time jumping to two. Why the reason for the move? Was there anything particular?
We had considered this the past three seasons in terms of adding. It was more probably about the fit, making sure you got the right person. And I think, and the commitment to development from our organization, from our owner. Jim and I have talked, about trying to add down there in terms of the staff, and it's essential from an NHL's perspective to continue development. And but quite frankly, it was about the fit. Max is the right fit. He's a defenseman. He's been through all levels of the game. He understands the game, and he was a solid professional. When he was with us in Texas, and I look forward to him working with our defensemen.
Thanks, Scott.
Next, we'll go to Saad Youssef. Saad?
Hey, Whitey, and also Max, both of you guys, what is the kind of, I guess for Whitey, what is the kind of role you envision Max specifically playing on the staff? And then also, Max, what do you think you bring to the staff?
Well, Max is going to work with our defensemen. Obviously, Travis Morin has worked with them the last season and a half or so. And we're going to flip Travis back to the forward position, which obviously that's where he played as a professional. And I think, Max he's diligent. He understands the nuances of the position. And I know from a standpoint of personality and how he'll teach, it'll be a seamless transition. And from Travis's perspective, I think he grew as a coach, in his entry-level position into coaching with us in Texas, working with the defenseman. That makes him better. Now flipping back to the forward position, he'll understand the D side of it too, and just makes him a better all-around coach moving ahead. So I think it's just good for the staff as a whole. And I think we'll maximize each of those guys' talents to help and develop our defensemen and forwards alike.
Hey guys, Max is on here, but we'll have him come in for questions as soon as we're done with Scott. So you can direct all of your questions to him once we finish up with Scott. Next, we'll go to Mike Heika. Mike?
Hey, Scott. What is the advantage of having a younger coaching staff at that level? And is it also good for the organization to help groom new coaches?
Young is relative. I mean, Max is getting up there. I'm sure he's laughing right now, but I mean, he played for 17 years pro or whatever it was. And but from an experience standpoint, certainly, you know what, I think just having lived it from a younger man's perspective, I think is always a good thing. And also those two players supporting Neil Graham, who didn't play at the highest of levels, but who's been a head coach for a long time, both at both levels now in the ECHL and AHL. I think it's just good support, and I think they relate well with with the 19 to 25-year-olds whom you're predominantly dealing with. So I think that can be a positive. And then, yeah, I mean, we're all about development in our group, both playing wise and in this coaching or management style of things. And, you know, we've moved our coaches along, we think, in a good way. And, you know, we think we've got good people in place. They're going to need experience, and they're going to get it quickly there in Texas. And who knows, I know all three of them want to coach in the NHL, and the path to start that is in the AHL, and all three of them are in good spots.
Next, we'll go to Matt DeFranks. Matt?
Scott, you do have now a couple of assistant coaches that went straight from playing into assistant coaching. What kind of traits do you look for in a player that kind of would allow them to make that jump directly?
That's a really good question. I think the hockey smarts, you know, as a player, obviously the familiarity with both guys or with a person getting into an introductory level there is key. So both those guys I knew quite well. I know most of you on this call knew both of them quite well, and they're good people, good character, but they're smarts on the ice. And then specifically to Max, his professionalism and preparation for the games allowed him to play so long. And those things are invaluable in terms of the getting that information along to prospects, and not only to defensemen, but to all the young players down there. So I think that helps, certainly.
Our next question is from Sean Shapiro. Sean?
Hey, Woody, how's it going? You mentioned it was about the fit with getting two assistant coaches there, and you've seen the kind of coaching staffs and resources grow in the AHL. Can you kind of reflect on that and how it's grown and in your role watching it go from a league where it was one guy who was maybe even the GM and the head coach and maybe an assistant to what it is now?
Yeah, it's grown. It's really grown since Iowa days, even from my perspective. A lot to do with technology, the communication with the players, the information that the players want. It was inevitable that staffs were going to grow, and it just shows you the importance of development that our organization has stressed all along. And you have to be able to maintain it. And you have to be able to give information and the resources to your players nowadays to help them develop. And it's what you need to do. And you know, we've added during our course of time, maybe a little slower than others, but again, I can't stress enough. It's getting the right fit, and Max is the right fit.